Hello student. Today I am going to start a new topic of surface chemistry, that is the enzyme and enzyme catalysis. So what is enzyme? Enzymes are the non-living nitrogenous proteinous complex organic compound. What are enzymes? Enzymes are the non-living nitrogenous, it means it contains nitrogen, protein part, proteinous, complex organic compound. Enzymes are non-living but they are produced by living cells and they catalyze the biochemical reactions. Biochemical reactions which proceed in living cells, which occurs in living cells like plants, humans, etc. So what are enzymes? Enzymes are the non-living, nitrogenous, proteinous complex organic compound. They produced by living cells but they are non-living organic compounds. They are so specific in nature, they catalyze a particular biochemical reaction like other catalysts. Second thing is that they their efficiency is very good at pH range 5 to 7 and at temperature 25 degrees Celsius, and that pH range is known as optimum pH, and that particular temperature in which enzyme work very effectively is known as optimum temperature. So what is optimum pH and what is optimum temperature? Optimum pH is that pH range in which the efficiency of any enzyme is very good. That pH range is 5 to 7. And what is optimum temperature? Optimum temperature is 25 degrees Celsius in which the catalytic power of enzyme is very good. Enzyme only catalyze a biochemical reaction, so it is also known as biocatalyst. So it is all about enzyme and their characteristic. It is very specific like other catalyst. Particular enzyme only catalyze a particular biochemical reaction. So now the second topic is what is enzyme catalysis. Enzyme catalysis is given by Fischer. So this theory is known as Fischer theory and also known as lock and key theory. According to this theory, first of all, enzyme react with substrate. Enzyme react with substrate. E stands for enzyme and S stands for substrate to form enzyme substrate complex. It is unstable and it is dissociate to give product, and enzyme is further free for reaction. So this is the mechanism part of enzyme for catalysis process of any biochemical reaction. Firstly, enzyme react with substrate to form enzyme substrate complex. It dissociate to give product, and enzyme is free for further reaction. Now, this theory also explains that the shape of enzyme and substrate are too complementary to each other. It means enzyme and substrate fixed, their shape complementary to each other, and this substrate fits into enzyme to form enzyme substrate complex. This enzyme substrate complex dissociate to give product, and enzyme is free for further reaction. This theory also tells that a particular key opens a particular lock. It means a key fit into their own lock. Likewise, substrate enzyme is so shape selective, their shape complementary to each other, they must be fixed into each other, then they form enzyme substrate complex and gives product, and enzyme is further free. So this theory is also known as lock and key theory because the lock and key concept behind this. So this is all about the enzyme catalysis. So thank you. हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, आज हिंदी विषय के अंतर्गत मैं आपको सामान्य हिंदी के अंतर्गत संस्कृत खंड में संकलित सुभाषित रत्नान नामक शीर्षक के अंतर्गत श्लोकों की व्याख्या पढ़ाने जा रही हूँ। तो पहला श्लोक है, भाषासु मुख्या मधुरा दिव्या गीर्वाण भारतीय तस्या ही मधुरम काव्यम तस्मादपि सुभाषितम। बच्चों, इस श्लोक में संस्कृत की भाषा के महत्व की चर्चा की गई है। भाषा माने होता है भाषाओं में, मुख्य माने मुख्य, मधुरा माने मधुर, दिव्य माने होता है अलौकिक, गीर्वाण माने होता है देव और भारती माने वाणी। तो इसका अनुवाद इस प्रकार होगा, भाषाओं में मुख्य, मधुर, अलौकिक, देववाणी अर्थात संस्कृत है। तस्या ही मधुरम काव्यम, ही माने निश्चय ही, तस्या माने इसका, मधुरम माने मधुर, काव्यम माने काव्य, निश्चय ही इसका काव्य मधुर है। तस्मादपि सुभाषितम, सुभाषितम का मतलब होता है सुंदर उक्तियां। तस्मादपि माने वैसे ही इसकी सुंदर उक्तियां। पूरे श्लोक का अनुवाद, हिंदी अनुवाद इस प्रकार होगा, भाषाओं में मुख्य, मधुर, अलौकिक, देववाणी संस्कृत है, निश्चय ही इसका काव्य मधुर है, तस्मादपि सुभाषितम, और वैसे ही इसमें कही गई सुंदर उक्तियां। तो आ गया बच्चों समझ में। अब हम आते हैं दूसरे श्लोक में। इस श्लोक में बताया गया है कि सुख चाहने वाले को विद्या की प्राप्ति नहीं होती और विद्या को प्राप्त करने वाले के लिए सुख का परित्याग करना पड़ता है। तो सुखार्थिना, सुखार्थिना माने होता है सुख चाहने वाले को, कुतो माने कहाँ, विद्या माने विद्या, विद्यार्थिना माने विद्यार्थी को या विद्या चाहने वाले को। इस श्लोक का हिंदी अनुवाद इस प्रकार होगा, सुख चाहने वाले को विद्या कहाँ और विद्या चाहने वाले को सुख कहाँ। सुखार्थी वा त्यजेत विद्या, विद्यार्थी वा त्यजेत सुखम। सुखार्थी मतलब सुख चाहने वाले को, त्यजेत मतलब त्याग कर देना चाहिए। सुख चाहने वाले को या सुख चाहने वाले को विद्या का त्याग कर देना चाहिए, या विद्यार्थी वा त्यजेत सुखम, या विद्यार्थी को सुख का त्याग कर देना चाहिए। इस श्लोक का अनुवाद एक बार सुनिए। सुख चाहने वाले को विद्या कहाँ, विद्यार्थी को सुख कहाँ। सुखार्थी को विद्या का त्याग कर देना चाहिए या विद्यार्थी को सुख का त्याग कर देना चाहिए। बच्चों, आई होप आपको समझ में आ गया होगा इसका हिंदी अनुवाद। चलते हैं हम तीसरे श्लोक पर आते हैं। जल बिंदु निपातेन क्रमशः पूर्यते घटा। सबसे पहले हम शब्दार्थ जान लेते हैं। जल तो जानते ही पानी, बिंदु माने बूंदों के, निपातेन माने गिरने से, क्रमशः क्रम से, पूर्यते माने भर जाता है, घटा माने घड़ा। अब पूरे का हिंदी अनुवाद होगा, जल बिंदुओं के क्रमशः गिरने पर घड़ा भर जाता है। सा हेतु सर्व विद्यानां धर्मस्य च धनस्य सा। सा माने यही, हेतु माने साधन या रहस्य भी कह सकते हैं। सर्व विद्यानां माने सभी विद्याओं का, धर्म का और धन का है। यही रहस्य सभी विद्याओं का, धर्म का और धन का है। बच्चों, इस श्लोक के अंतर्गत बताया गया है कि जिस प्रकार जल की एक एक बूंद गिरने पर एक समय ऐसा आता है कि घड़ा भर जाता है, उसी तरह सभी विद्याएं, धर्म और धन क्रमशः
यदि उनका प्रयास किया जाए तो वो भी संपूर्णता को प्राप्त कर लेते हैं। एक बार पुनः मैं इस श्लोक के अनुवाद को बताना चाहूंगी। जल बिंदु निपातेन, जल बिंदुओं के, निपातेन माने गिरने से, क्रमशः माने क्रम से, पूरेते माने पूर्ण हो जाता है, घटा माने घड़ा, जल बिंदुओं के क्रमशः गिरने से घड़ा भर जाता है। सा हेतु, वही साधन, सर्व विद्या नाम, सभी विद्याओं का, धर्म का और धन का है। वही साधन या वही रहस्य सभी विद्याओं का, धर्म का और धन का है। आते हैं चौथे श्लोक में। काव्य शास्त्र विनोदेन कालो गच्छति धीमताम, व्यसनेन च मूर्खाणाम निद्रा कलहेन वा। बच्चों, इस श्लोक में विद्वान व्यक्ति किस प्रकार अपने समय को व्यतीत करता है और एक मूर्ख व्यक्ति किस प्रकार विसंगतियों में फंसकर अपने समय को व्यर्थ गवा देता है, इस बात की चर्चा की गई। काव्य शास्त्र विनोदेन, तो सबसे पहले हम शब्दार्थ जान लेते हैं। धीमताम माने होता है विद्वान व्यक्ति, कालो गच्छति माने, काल माने होता है समय, गच्छति माने व्यतीत करता है। काव्य शास्त्र विनोदेन मतलब होता है काव्य शास्त्रों के मनोरंजन में, व्यसनेन माने बुराइयों में, मूर्खाणाम माने मूर्ख व्यक्ति, निद्रा माने नींद में, कलहेन माने लड़ाई झगड़े में। पूरे श्लोक का जो हिंदी अनुवाद होगा वो इस प्रकार होगा। विद्वान व्यक्ति अपने समय को काव्य शास्त्रों के मनोरंजन में व्यतीत करता है, अर्थात विद्वान व्यक्ति अपने समय को काव्य शास्त्रों से प्राप्त ज्ञान में व्यतीत करता है, जबकि मूर्खाणाम माने मूर्ख व्यक्ति, जबकि मूर्ख व्यक्ति कालो गच्छति, कालो गच्छति माने समय व्यतीत करता है, व्यसनेन माने बुराइयों में, निद्रा माने नींद में, कलहेन वा और कलह में, जबकि मूर्ख व्यक्ति अपने समय को बुराइयों में, नींद में और लड़ाई झगड़े में व्यतीत करता है। बच्चों, एक बार मैं पुनः ये चारों श्लोकों का हिंदी अनुवाद आपको बता रही हूँ। भाषासु मुख्या मधुरा दिव्या गीर्वाण भारती, तस्या ही मधुरम काव्यम तस्मादपि सुभाषितम। भाषाओं में मुख्य, मधुर, अलौकिक देववाणी संस्कृति है। तस्या ही मधुरम काव्यम, वैसा ही इसका, निश्चय ही वैसा ही इसका काव्य मधुर है। तस्मादपि सुभाषितम, और वैसे ही इसमें कही गई सुंदर उक्तियां। बच्चों, दूसरे श्लोक पर आते हैं। सुखार्थिना कुतो विद्या, सुख चाहने वाले को विद्या कहा, कुतो विद्यार्थिना सुखम, और विद्या चाहने वाले को सुख कहाँ। सुखार्थी व त्यजेत विद्या, सुख चाहने वाले को, त्यजेत माने त्याग देना चाहिए, विद्या माने विद्या को, सुख चाहने वाले को या तो विद्या का त्याग कर देना चाहिए, विद्यार्थी व त्यजेत सुखम, या विद्यार्थी को सुख का त्याग कर देना चाहिए। तीसरे श्लोक का हिंदी अनुवाद होगा। जल बिंदु निपातेन क्रमशः पूर्यते घटा, सा हेतु सर्व विद्यानां धर्मस्य धनस्य च। जल बिंदुओं के क्रमशः गिरने से घड़ा भर जाता है। सा हेतु सर्व विद्यानां, वही हेतु माने होता है रहस्य या साधन, वही साधन सभी विद्याओं का, धर्म का और धन का है। चौथे श्लोक पर आते हैं। काव्य शास्त्र विनोदेन, काव्य शास्त्र विनोदेन कालो गच्छति धीमताम, विद्वान व्यक्ति का समय काव्य शास्त्र के ज्ञान में व्यतीत होता है, जबकि मूर्खाणाम माने मूर्ख व्यक्ति का समय व्यसनेन माने बुराइयों में, निद्रा माने नींद में और कलह में व्यतीत होता है। तो मुझे आशा है कि आपको समझ में आ गया होगा।
Students, today we are going to start a new chapter of transformation, that is interchange of degree. As you know very well that you have been taught the portion of transformation, removal of the two and regular two, and next one interchange of sentence, interchange of clause, and this one is interchange of degree. So first of all, let us introduce with our topic, and as our topic is interchange of degree. You know the meaning of interchange? पारस्परिक परिवर्तन, एक दूसरे में बदलना. किसको बदलना है? डिग्री. So let us just, what is the exact meaning of degree? Degree is the word that is used for the measurement. Now you can imagine how we are going to connect this unit of measurement with our language, English language. Whenever we are going to connect this word in global warming, we measure temperature of the climate. Whenever we are going to test with the medical field, we are going to check our body temperature. But as far as the word is connected with subject English language, the word degree measures adjective. ये word जो degree है, ये मापन का काम करता है, मेजरमेंट का. किसका? डिग्री का. डिग्री किसका मेजरमेंट कर रही है? एडजेक्टिव का. स्टूडेंट्स, as you know that there are three forms of the verb, first form, second form, third form. बहुत रटाया जाता है बच्चों को छोटे से verb and noun वाला सिस्टम. In the same way, your degree has three form of adjective. Okay, means first of all you should keep in your mind that degree is measurement of adjective. Let us define adjective. शायद सब जानते भी हैं. Adjective विशेषण. The word which qualify noun or pronoun is called adjective. How it going to qualify noun or pronoun? When it tells number, person, quality, quantity, number, quality, quantity, merit, demerit, okay, etc. जो वर्ड नाउन या प्रोनाउन के नंबर, क्वालिटी, क्वांटिटी, मेरिट और डिमेरिट्स को बताते हैं, दे आर कॉल्ड एडजेक्टिव. दिस इज डेफिनेशन ऑफ एडजेक्टिव. सो नाउ हाउ इट इज कनेक्टेड विद डिग्री. ये सारी चीजें डिग्री से कैसे कनेक्टेड हैं? लैंग्वेज की डिग्री 3 स्टेप में इन सारी चीजों को मेजर करती है, एंड दीज स्टेप्स आर कॉल्ड positive, comparative, and superlative. Okay. You can say the stages of degree is positive, comparative, and superlative. Okay. ये जितने भी adjective हैं, जब अपनी constant condition में रहते हैं, when they remain in static position, constant condition, they are called positive degree. Okay, general. ना किसी से अच्छे हैं, ना बुरे हैं, ना ज़्यादा हैं, ना कम हैं. जब constant condition में रहते हैं ये सारे वर्ड, यानी एडजेक्टिव जब अपने नॉर्मल कंडीशन में, स्टैटिक कंडीशन में रहता है, then it is called positive. And whenever we are going to compare between two, okay, comparison between two, that is called comparative degree. Comparison between two, it may be two person, quality of two person, quality of two things, and quality of two places, any two, quality of two groups, any two. जब भी किसी दो के बीच का comparison होगा, that will be comparative degree. Now what is the superlative? कंपैरिजन मोर देन टू। ओके, जब दो से ज़्यादा लोगों के बीच कंपैरिजन होता है और उसमें से कोई एक सबसे अच्छा, सबसे खराब, सबसे ऊंचा, सबसे नीचा, सबसे कम, सबसे ज़्यादा, इस तरह से कैटेगरी में शॉर्ट आउट होकर निकलता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड सुपरलेटिव डिग्री। ओके, आई थिंक you have clear know the what is the meaning of adjective, definition of adjective and how we get three forms of adjective which are called degree। जैसे वर्ब के 3 फॉर्म होते हैं, ऐसे ही एडजेक्टिव की 3 डिग्री होती हैं। एडजेक्टिव क्लैरिफाई है, ये इसके जो 3 फॉर्म हैं वो 3 स्टेज के रूप में हमारे सामने आते हैं, जिनको हम पॉजिटिव, कंपैरेटिव और सुपरलेटिव नाम से जानते हैं। पॉजिटिव कांस्टेंट कंडीशन में रहता है, जैसे बहुत कॉमन एग्जांपल आपके माइंड में फीड किया गया है, गुड, बेटर, बेस्ट, है ना। जो अच्छा है वो किसी के कंपैरिजन में कम ज़्यादा नहीं है, बस वो अच्छा है, नॉर्मल कंडीशन है, स्टैटिक कंडीशन है। व्हेन वी आर गोइंग टू कंपेयर बिटवीन टू, द कंडीशन इज कंपैरेटिव डिग्री, दो के बीच की और दो से ज़्यादा की बीच में से जब हम किसी को शॉर्ट आउट करते हैं, दैट इज सुपरलेटिव, वो सबसे अच्छा है या सबसे खराब है, सबसे कम या सबसे ज़्यादा। तो दिस इज द स्टेजेस ऑफ डिग्री, पॉजिटिव, कंपैरेटिव एंड सुपरलेटिव। व्हाट आवर फंक्शन, आवर एग्जैक्ट फंक्शन इज इंटरचेंज ऑफ डिग्री। ये जो 3 डिग्रीज हैं इनका आपस में चेंज में परिवर्तन, ठीक है, इंटरचेंज, पारस्परिक परिवर्तन। तो जब हम इसको इंटरचेंज करेंगे तो हमारे सामने 3 ग्रुप बनकर आएंगे। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ए ग्रुप फ्रॉम पॉजिटिव इनटू कंपैरेटिव। इंटरचेंज का मतलब हुआ जब हम पॉजिटिव से कंपैरेटिव सीखेंगे तो जाहिर सी बात है वो रिवर्स करने पर वो कंपैरेटिव से पॉजिटिव बन जाएगा। बी स्टेज होगी जब हम पॉजिटिव को फ्रॉम पॉजिटिव इनटू सुपरलेटिव, जब हम पॉजिटिव को सुपरलेटिव, जाहिर सी बात है आपको दिख रहा होगा पॉजिटिव से आपने कंपैरेटिव बनाया, पॉजिटिव से सुपरलेटिव, तो हमारा जो लास्ट स्टेप बनकर आएगा दैट विल बी फ्रॉम कंपैरेटिव इनटू सुपरलेटिव, सुपरलेटिव। These 3 aspects you are going to be taught. First from positive into comparative, second positive into superlative, and last one comparative into superlative. Let us start with first step of degree from positive into comparative. A step from positive into comparative, सकारात्मक से तुलनात्मक कंडीशन में, फ्रॉम पॉजिटिव इनटू कंपैरेटिव। अब गिवन स्टेटमेंट को आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करेंगे कि क्वेश्चन स्टेटमेंट आपका किस डिग्री में है, ठीक, पॉजिटिव में है, कंपैरेटिव में है या सुपरलेटिव में। तो पहले हम पॉजिटिव की बात करते हैं क्योंकि पॉजिटिव से स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं। पॉजिटिव की आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए, उसको पहचानने के लिए आपके पास 2 चीज़ें होंगी। अफर्मेटिव सेंटेंसेस में आपका एज फर्स्ट डिग्री एज, ओके, एंड इन नेगेटिव सो फर्स्ट डिग्री एज, यानी एज और सो एज, ये सिंबल हैं, ये पहचानने के, ये आइडेंटिफाई करने के कि गिवन स्टेटमेंट आपका पॉजिटिव है, ठीक। फॉर एग्जांपल he is as intelligent as his brother. ठीक, as and first degree, मीनिंग वो उतना ही बुद्धिमान है जितना कि उसका भाई. तो as सिंबल है जो ये इंडिकेशन दे रहे हैं द गिवन स्टेटमेंट इज पॉजिटिव. व्हाट इज व्हाट? नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू ट्रांसफॉर फ्रॉम पॉजिटिव इनटू कंपैरेटिव, जिसके लिए आपके कुछ रूल्स भी हैं. उन रूल्स को भी आपको फॉलो करना पड़ेगा और उसी रूल्स से हम इस पॉजिटिव को कंपैरेटिव में चेंज करेंगे. ठीक है. First of all, we are going to change subject into object and object into subject. जैसे हम पैसिव वॉइस में करते हैं, सबसे पहले आपका ऑब्जेक्ट जो है वो सब्जेक्ट बन जाएगा और जो सब्जेक्ट है वो ऑब्जेक्ट बन जाएगा. सेकेंड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, जो हेल्पिंग वर्ब है वो एज इट इज रहेगी, उसका हम टेंस या कोई भी चेंज नहीं करेंगे एक्सेप्ट सिंगुलर और प्लूरल. मान लीजिए आप ऑब्जेक्ट को सब्जेक्ट बनाते हैं और वो ऑब्जेक्ट आपका प्लूरल है, तो उसी टेंस की अकॉर्डिंग आपका जो हेल्पिंग वर्ब है वो सिंगुलर से प्लूरल में ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा. ओके. नेक्स्ट वन, दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट, इफ योर क्वेश्चन स्टेटमेंट इज इन नेगेटिव फॉर्म. ओके. और सॉरी, पहले पॉजिटिव ले लेते हैं. फ्रॉम पॉजिटिव, पॉजिटिव मैंने अफर्मेटिव सेंटेंस है. योर आंसर विल बी इन नेगेटिव फॉर्म. एंड इफ योर गिवन स्टेटमेंट इज नेगेटिव फॉर्म, योर आंसर विल बी इन पॉजिटिव फॉर्म. ऐसा क्यों करते हैं? जो हमारा स्टेटमेंट है उसकी मीनिंग का बैलेंस तभी होगा जब हम एक पॉजिटिव और दूसरा नेगेटिव करें. ठीक है. एंड थर्ड वन, दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट, चेंज ऑफ डिग्री. आपको पॉजिटिव से कंपैरेटिव में चेंज करना है, तो पॉजिटिव फर्स्ट डिग्री है, इसका सेकेंड डिग्री हम यूज करेंगे कंपैरेटिव बनाने के लिए. एंड लास्ट वन, देन, क्योंकि आप जानते हैं देन का मतलब अपेक्षाकृत होता है, तुलना होता है, तो कंपैरेटिव बनाने के लिए हमें कंपैरेटिव वर्ड यानी देन का भी यूज करना होगा. तो ये कुछ कॉमन रूल्स हैं जिनके बेस पर हम आपको पॉजिटिव से कंपैरेटिव बनाने को सिखाएंगे. ओके. ये कीप दीज रूल्स इन योर माइंड. नाउ चेंज द सेंटेंस. व्हाट वाज फर्स्ट रूल? ऑब्जेक्ट को सब्जेक्ट बनाना है, तो his brother, क्योंकि ये भी सिंगुलर फॉर्म है, so there will be no change in helping verb. His brother is given a statement in positive, affirmative, so answer will be in negative form. His brother is not more intelligent. Okay, second form of second degree of intelligent, more intelligent. Second degree, more intelligent than him, than he. His brother is not more intelligent than he. उसका भाई उससे ज़्यादा इंटेलिजेंट नहीं है. इसका मतलब क्या है? वो उतना ही इंटेलिजेंट है जितना कि वो, यानी दोनों के जो मीनिंग है वो सेम है, उसमें कोई चेंज नहीं हुआ. लेट मी क्लियर वन थिंग मोर. ये जो डिग्री मैंने चेंज की इंटेलिजेंट से मोर इंटेलिजेंट, इसके लिए थोड़ा सा आपको ध्यान में रखना है. हमारी कुछ डिग्री होती हैं जो ER और EST से बन जाती हैं, जैसे गुड, बेटर, बेस्ट है, हायर, हाई, हायर, हाईएस्ट है. लेकिन जितने भी जो हमारे मोनोसिलेबी होते हैं, यानी एक बार एक साउंड में जब हम जिनको बोलते हैं ब्रेक नहीं कर सकते, मोनोसिलेबी एक ही बार में उनको, जैसे हम दो खंड में ब्यूटीफुल बोलते हैं तो ब्यूटीफुल दो खंड हो जाता है. इंटेलिजेंट, इसको हम दो स्ट्रेस में बोल रहे हैं, तो जब हम मोनो नहीं बोलते, बायोसिलेबी बोलते हैं, यानी दो खंड में बोलते हैं स्ट्रेस में, तो उनमें ER और EST लगकर नहीं डिग्री चेंज की जाती. उसमें हम पॉजिटिव डिग्री कांस्टेंट होती है, सेकंड में मोर लगाते हैं और थर्ड वन में मोस्ट लगाते हैं. ओके. ओके गाइस, स्टूडेंट्स, we will continue the topic in our next audio. Till then, have a nice day.
Good morning, students, and in today's lecture we will start the matter waves. So, students, what is matter wave or de Broglie waves? De Broglie told the hypothesis, and I told you what is hypothesis. Hypothesis is the just a thinking. De Broglie Broglie thought that just like a light waves, as you know that the light has a dual nature. Sometimes it behaves like a particle and sometimes it behaves like a wave. In the same manner, de Broglie gave a suggestion that any particle which is moving with velocity v, it can be also produce the waves, and that wave is called matter wave or de Broglie waves. And as I told you that it is just a thought of de Broglie, so it doesn't become the law until and unless it is not proved by the experiment. So here the de Broglie gave a mathematical relationship for finding the wavelength of the matter waves, and what it is. So just look in the blackboard what I am to derive here. As you know that we are talking about photon, and photon kinetic mass of photon is m. Okay, and the rest mass of photon is 0. So student, kinetic mass of photon is m. So as we know that by the Einstein energy mass relation, E equal to mc square. So this is the energy possessed by the particle of mass m, and here we are talking about photon. Okay, we also know that the photons, if we consider that the photons is frequency nu and the wavelength is lambda, the frequency of the photon is nu and the wavelength is lambda, then according to Planck formula, E equal to h nu. This is the energy possessed by the photon of frequency nu. Okay, so these two things are same. So I am equating both the equations, and we got mc square is equal to h nu. Here mc square is equal to h nu, and as we know that the nu is equal to c by lambda. This is a very well known relationship, as you know in the previous classes. So here we can write mc square is equal to hc by lambda. Students, here we can cancel c to c, and we can find the mass, kinetic mass, m is equal to h upon c lambda. Here m equal to h upon c lambda. Now we can here write lambda equal to h upon m into c. Here you are seeing that mass into velocity of light. C is what? Velocity of light. So mass into velocity is what? It is momentum. So I am writing it as lambda equal to h upon p, where p is what? P is momentum. Okay. Now, so this relationship for finding the wavelength is for the photon. And as I told you that de Broglie told that any particle which is moving, condition is which is moving, it also produces a wave, and that wave is called the matter wave. And de Broglie give a mathematical relationship which is just like which I have derived here for the photon. So for the de Broglie waves, the wavelength of the particle which is moving with velocity v is same, h is equal to lambda equal to h upon p. But students, keep a point here that p is momentum is not m into c, it is m into v, because the particle cannot move the velocity of light. So here I am taking it as small v, and this is the velocity of particle. This is the velocity of particle. And this is the velocity of light. So this relationship lambda equal to h upon mv or lambda equal to h upon p. This is the de Broglie wavelength formula for any particle whose mass is m and its velocity is v. I think you got my point. And according to this relationship, I am finally giving two conclusions here, and that conclusions are what I am describing here for you. So what I get, lambda equal to h upon mv. Here we are. So here you are seeing that if we consider v equal to 0, students, if we consider v equal to 0, then you got lambda equal to infinite. What it means? Lambda equal to infinite means in mathematics you know this is the undefined value. So here it means that if the velocity is 0 means particle is in rest, then there would be no wavelength, and there would be no wavelength can be defined, then it means there would be no wave. So I think you are clear a point here that if the particle is not moving, there would be no matter wave. So finally I am writing here, if particle is at rest, if particle is at rest, no matter wave would produce, no matter wave would produce, no matter wave would produce. And the second point of the conclusion is that you are seeing in the formula lambda equal to h upon mv that here if there any term of charge and the charge is representing by either small e or small q. Is there any term of small e or small q? No. So it means that the de Broglie wave matter waves is not depending on the particle whether it is charged or uncharged. It means there is a one condition only, that the particle should be in motion. So second condition is it doesn't depend on whether particle is charged, or uncharged. Doesn't depend on whether the particle is charged or uncharged. In both the cases, matter wave could be exist. Only the condition is the particle must be in motion. And in the same way, we can say that matter wave is not the electromagnetic waves. Okay, because as we know that the electromagnetic waves are produced by the particle which is charged and which is accelerated. So the matter waves are not the electromagnetic waves. Students, our next topic to discuss is we have derived the relationship lambda equal to h upon v or h upon mv. This is the formula for finding the wavelength or the de Broglie wavelength for the matter wave. Now we will derive a relationship in terms of kinetic energy. Okay, we are deriving the relationship in terms of kinetic energy. Formula we are going to derive here. Student, as you know that if a particle is moving with velocity v, it has a kinetic energy, and the formula for kinetic energy k equal to half mv square. Okay, and from here we can find the value of v in terms of k, and what it is 2k by m square root equal to small v. This is the velocity in terms of kinetic energy. Now put this velocity in the equation we have already obtained, equation number first. So what we get, lambda equal to h upon m square root of 2k upon m. Okay, now we are placing this m inside the square root. So what it becomes square m square, and upon में क्या है आपका m है, 1m is cancelling the 1m. So what remains, h upon under root 2k m. So finally we have got a relationship lambda equal to h upon under root of 2mk. So this is another form of finding a wavelength, but it is in terms of kinetic energy. Here you are seeing that the system is here including k. So this formula is for any particle. It is not for the charged particle or uncharged particle. It can be applied in both the cases, whether the particle is charged or uncharged. Now students, we have obtained lambda equal to h upon under root 2mk. This is the formula for finding a wavelength of the matter wave in terms of kinetic energy. Now students, we are going to discuss for the charged particle. Now we are specializing our discussion charged particles. For the charged particles. Okay. Charged particles. Suppose we have a charged particle, and the charge is denoted by small q, and as we know that we can accelerate this charged particle by the external source, that is battery, and we are taking a battery whose potential difference is V, capital V, and this battery is accelerating the charged particle by applying the electrostatic force on the charged particle, and by doing the work on the charged particle, it means here the charged particle is gaining the kinetic energy from the battery, and battery is doing the work. And now in the ideal case, student, we can take that the whole work done by the battery is just converting into the kinetic energy possessed by the charged particle. So we can say that as, and also student, we know in the electrostatic chapter that potential difference V equal to W by Q. We know that potential difference V equal to W by Q. Here W is what? It is the work done, and Q is what? It is the charge on which the battery is doing work. So W equal to, we can write Q into V, and as I told you, in the ideal case, the whole work done by the battery is just converted into the kinetic energy. It means whatever work done is being by the battery is converted into the kinetic energy of the particle, charge particle. So we can write here W is equal to K, and from here we can say that Q equal to K equal to Q into V. So this is a special and this is the important part here, that K equal to Q into V, and we can place this value here. So what we get, lambda equal to h upon under root of 2m, and in place of K we can write Q into V. Okay, so this is the formula what we get here. It is not for the any particle, it is only for the charge particle. This is only for the charge particle. Okay, I think you got my point here. We have derived three forms. First one is this, second one is this, and third one is this. Now we are finally here specializing that the charged particle is electron. You can also say that it would be proton, it would be alpha particle, but where we are deriving a relationship for electrons. So for electrons, I am just putting the values constant related to electron. So for we are going to derive for electron. For electron, student, you can say that mass of electron is what? 9.1 into 10 to the power minus 31 in SI unit, that is kg. And what is the charge? Charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. Its unit is coulomb. Now, these two values we know for the electrons, and we also know that the value of H. We know that the value of H is 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34. Now, all these constant value we are putting in this formula lambda. So lambda here becomes something like this. It would become 150 under root of 150 upon capital V, because you are seeing here that H is, we know that the value of H M is already known to us and Q is already known to us, but we doesn't know here the value is V. So V is variable here and all the things are constant, and on solving all the constant value we got the formula like this: lambda equal to under root of 150 upon V, and this value is in angstrom. You have to keep notice that this value is in angstrom. This is the important point here which I am telling you. So, and you also know that the 1 angstrom equal to 10 to the power minus 10 meter. So student, keep in mind. And another form of this derivation is you can solve root 150 and it comes approximately 12.27 upon under root of V in angstrom. So these two form is for electron. So these two form for only for electron. So I think this is all about for today's lecture. We will meet in another lecture. Thank you. Electron. So these two form for only for electron. So I think this is all about for today's lecture. We will meet in another lecture. Thank you.
Hello students, good morning to all of you and welcome to Shivaji Group of Institutions online. Good morning to all of you and welcome to Shivaji Group of Institutions online classes. Students, today I am going to discuss you about homogeneous differential equation. So students, homogeneous differential equation, a differential equation which can be written in the form dy upon dx is equal to function of y to the power x or x to the power n y to the power x, or dx upon dy is equal to y to the power n function of s to the power y, is called homogeneous differential equation. differential equation. Students, let's take an example. Check that differential equation dy upon dx equal x plus y upon x minus y is a differential equation or not. So the working procedure of checking the differential equation is homogeneous or not, we can take two methods. First method is, if we common x both side, both denominator and numerator, then we get 1 plus y upon x, and also in denominator we can take x, then 1 minus y upon x. So x will be cancelled out. That is, it is the form of x की power 0 because power is 0 here, and 1 plus y upon x and 1 minus y upon x. Students, here you can see this is a totally function of y upon x. So this dy upon dx equal to x plus y upon x minus y is converted as this form. This form, that is x power n, and it is totally function of y upon x. So it is a homogeneous. So it is a homogeneous differential equation. So this is the process how you check the given differential equation is homogeneous or not. One method is more that you can check the homogeneity of given differential equation. If we replace x by x equal to lambda x and y equal to lambda y, then you get dy upon dx is equal to lambda x plus lambda y and lambda x minus lambda y, which gives lambda common. Students, x plus y, then there is lambda is common, and there is x minus y, so this is lambda not f of xy. So here we find original functions. So if we replace x by lambda x and y by lambda y, students, and here is original function lambda की power 0 या lambda or something, then if we find the original function, then this is called homogeneous differential equation. So this is for checking homogeneous differential equation. Now students, here are some problems based on homogeneous differential equation. First problem is problem number 1. Solve the homogeneous differential equation. Solve the homogeneous x dy minus y dx is equal to under root x square plus y square dx. Students, we have to solve this differential equation. Firstly, if there is not given homogeneous, then you check if this is homogeneous or not. So first, it converted as original form, that is standard form dy upon dx form. Then transfer y dx in right hand side, then this gives x square plus y square dx plus y dx. Then x dy is equal to under root y plus under root x square plus y square dx. Here dy upon dx is equal to y plus under root x square plus y square upon x. Now we check that this is homogeneous or not. So here we can write as this is y upon x plus, here we common x square plus y square upon x square upon x. So here y upon x, this x square, students, is outside the x square in the under root side, then outside there is x. This is 1 plus y square upon x square and upon x. This x is cancelled out. So students, this gives y upon x plus under root 1 plus y square upon x square. So students, you can see this is the total function of y upon x, or totally the function of f y upon x. So this is the f of y upon x. So dy upon dx is equal to function of y upon x, students. So it is homogeneous. So it is homogeneous. One more method for a student checking the homogeneity, that each terms have same degree. That is, in denominator there is y Its degree is 1, power is 1, and there is x square plus y square in root. Then after root, there is degree also 1. So this degree is 1, this degree is also 1, and denominator degree is also 1. So this is homogeneous. This is also a method of checking the homogeneity. So student, this is homogeneous function. And when any function is homogeneous, then why we solve? Then we solve it by, if any function is homogeneous and in form dy upon dx equal to function of y upon x, then we put y equal to vx and differentiate with respect to it, dy upon dx equal first and second, differentiate it v plus x dv upon dx. And this is equation number first. Put these two values in equation number first, students. So from equation number first students, equation number first, in place of dy upon dx, you can put v plus x dv upon dx, v plus x dv upon dx. And students, in place of y, we put vx, so vx plus under root x square plus y square, students, then x square plus v square x square upon x. So students, now after solving, we get v plus x dv upon dx is equal to vx plus, here x square is common out, then this is gives 1 plus v square upon x. So v plus x dv upon dx, here there is common x, we give v plus under root 1 plus v square upon x. So x will be cancelled out. So v plus x dv upon dx is equal to v plus root 1 plus v square. Here v cancel out, students. So x dv upon dx is equal to root 1 plus v square. So here this is the form of separable form. It is in separable form because here we easily separate the variables. So separate the variables, that is under dv there is function of v, and under dx there will be function of x. Now integrating both sides, students, integrating both sides, this is the process of homogeneous differential equation solving. Integrating both sides, students, so integrates dv upon root 1 plus v square is equal to integral of dx upon x. This gives, students, we also know that integral of 1 upon under root x square plus a square is equal to log x plus under root a square plus a square, because formula we know that integral of 1 upon under root x square plus a square dx is equal to log x plus under root x square plus a square. So put the formula here. So log, here x is v, so v plus under root a square, a is 1, then 1 plus v square, students. So there is log x plus log c is constant, because when we integrated it, any function, there is an integration constant. So log v plus under root 1 plus v square is equal to log m plus log n, students, log c, log m into n, so log cx. Now taking anti-log both sides log cancel, we get v plus under root 1 plus v square is equal to cx. Now replace v equal to y upon x. So this is y upon x plus under root 1 plus y square upon x square is equal to, students, cx. Now this is taking LCM. So here is x LCM. So y plus under root x square plus y square is equal to cx. So this gives y plus under root x square plus y square equal to cx square, and squaring both, this is also a solution, But if we square, then x square plus y square whole square is c square x to the power 4. This is the required solution of given differential equation. So students, hope you all understand the homogeneous function, what is homogeneous differential equation, how you can solve homogeneous differential equation of the form dy upon dx equal to f of x y, x upon y का जो फंक्शन हो, तो कैसे आप उसको सॉल्व करते हैं ये आपने यहाँ पर चला. Now students, moving our next example for more knowledge. Problem number 2. Solve the differential equation y e to the power x upon y dx is equal to x e to the power x upon y plus y dy. So solve this differential equation. Here students, you see that in power of e की power there is power x upon y. The degree of e is power of e is x upon y. So we have to make in the form of function of x upon y this differential equation. We have to make this differential equation in the form of function of x upon y. So here dy, it is written as dx upon dy is equal to x e to the power x upon y plus y upon y e to the power x upon y. So now divide each term. So x e to the power x upon y plus y upon y e to the power x upon y. Now separate students. So dx upon dy divide each other, then x upon y plus there is e to the power x upon y, which shows this is the totally the function of x upon y. So this is the function of x upon y. So this is homogeneous differential equation. Homogeneous differential equation. So first you check that this is homogeneous or not. If it is homogeneous, then after that you should solve it. So the solution of this differential equation is, take this as equation number first. Now here independent variable is y and dependent variable is x. So you can let in this type of homogeneous differential equation, when function is x upon y, function of x upon y, then let x equal to vy students. X equal to vy. Now differentiate with respect to y both sides. So dx upon dy is equal to, now first function and second function students. First is differentiated with respect to, so first is as it is y1 plus then y as it is, then dv upon dy. So there is dx upon dy is equal to v plus y dv upon dy. Now put both these in equation number first. So from equation number first, equation first में ये values बस student भी हम put करेंगे, then we get, so from first dx upon dy, in place of dx upon dy we can put this. So this is v plus y dv upon dy equal, and x upon y, so x upon y is v plus and e to the power xy, this is e to the power v. So all this value and this value is put in this differential equation, then we get v plus y dv upon dy is equal to v plus e to the power v. So student, you see that this is totally in the separable form. Why separable? V से v student cancel out, then this gives y dv upon dy is equal to e to the power v. So student, this is in separable form. So separable form जब बच्चे students, then separable form, then it gives dv upon e to the power v is equal to dv dy upon y. Now integrating both sides. So integrate both sides students. Integrate both sides. Then you get students, after e to the power minus v dv equal to e 1 upon y dy. Now you all know that integration of 1 upon dy is log y, and integration of e to the power x dx is e to the power x. So e to the power minus v is minus e to the power minus v is equal to 1 upon y, there is log y. So students, this is log y, and you also add here constant log c. Then this gives students minus e to the power minus b. So b to the value, or you can write this form, 1 upon e to the power b is equal to log cx. So put the value of b, x upon y, so minus 1 upon e to the power x upon y is equal to log cx. So this is the solution of given differential equation. You can also write in the other form this solution. So students, this is our second problem based on homogeneous differential equation. Now students, take another example. Example number 3. Solve the differential equation x dy over dx is equal to y minus x cos square y upon x. So students, you can see that this is not separable form. It is not we cannot separable easily as directed in here. So we can check this is homogeneous or not. So firstly, here in the multiple of dy upon dx there is x. So divide this term by x. Divide both sides by x first. So then we get dy over dx. Dy over dx is equal to y upon x minus cos square y upon x. So student, here you can see this is total the function of y upon x. Totally a function of y upon x. So when any differential equation is a totally function of y upon x, then we call this is homogeneous differential equation. So it is homogeneous differential equation. We can let this equation number first. So it is homogeneous. When we check homogeneous, then after homogeneous, the method of solution is the same as previous example, that we put for solution we put y equal to vx, differentiate both sides, then dy upon dx is equal to v plus x dv upon dx, because first and second लेकर के students जब we differentiate करेंगे, then we get first as it is and differentiation of x is 1 plus x second is as it is and differentiation of first is dv upon dx. So put these values in equation number first. So from equation number first, from first equation, this equation differential equation, we put these values, then we get v plus x dv upon dx is equal to y upon x, there is y, v minus cos square v students. So we cancel out students. So x dv over dx is equal to minus cos square v. So students, now this is in the separable form. Separable form में अगर convert हो गया students, separable form, then we can write this differential equation as x dv upon dx equal to minus cos square v, then dv upon cos square v is equal to minus dx upon x. Students, now integrating both sides, with this integrate both sides, then we get students integration dv upon cos square v is equal to minus dx upon x. So student, this is get sec square v, dv is equal to minus dx upon x. So this is sec square v is tan v is equal to 1 upon x dx is equal to students minus log x and then plus log c. So this is the solution of this given differential equation. You can also solve furthermore, that is tan v is equal to log n plus log m minus log n, this gives log c upon x. Now taking it, this is also a solution, and put the value of v, we get tan y upon x equal to log c upon x. So now taking anti-log both sides, this gives c upon x is equal to e to the power tan y upon x, or c equal to x e to the power tan y upon x. This is also a solution of given differential equation. So students, hopefully you understand this topic, homogeneous differential equation. What is homogeneous differential equation? So students, thank you. Hello students.
Hello everyone, welcome back to SGY online video classes and welcome student to another online video classes of Shivaji Group of Institution. Today we will talk about a special topic of the lesson, molecular basis of inheritance, and in this chapter we have to discuss one most important topic, that is regulation of genes. Regulation of genes. Regulation of genes. So listen carefully to understand the process. Welcome back student, and welcome to another online video classes from SGY group. Today we will discuss about a special topic of a lesson, molecular basis of inheritance, and the topic is regulation of genes expression. Regulation of gene expression. Today we will discuss all about the regulation of gene express and also discuss about the lab operon and expression of a lab operon. First of all, to understand the topic, it is very important to understand what is gene expression. How can a gene express itself? In genetics, I told that one gene is responsible for one special kinds of character, but in this chapter one gene can express itself by producing a different types of a proteins. It means that every characters have a special type of a proteins, need a special type of a protein to represent itself. So in this lesson, what is the meaning of gene expression? Gene expression is actually the representation of a genes, and how genes can represent itself. This was a question here. A genes can be expressed itself by forming a special kinds of proteins. So gene always express itself by the formation of different kinds of protein in the system when proteins are required by the body. So here questions are arises, does the genes are always in the form of protein formation? It means that genes are always in the form of protein formation. This question is arises here, but this is not a so important question, because gene express itself in a different way and in a different type. When there is a need of a protein in our body, gene can express itself. When there is no need of a protein in our body, the gene cannot be expressed itself. So there is some regulation mechanism. There is some regulation mechanism to control the gene expression. So in this chapter we will discuss about that, the regulation of gene expression. In 1961, Jacob and Monod study the regulation of a gene in prokaryotic cell. So what type of a cell needed by Jacob and Monod? He took a cell of Escherichia coli, E. coli, also say that E. coli, Escherichia coli, and study the regulation mechanism of a gene, and he concluded that there is some system that is responsible for the regulation of gene, and he named the system is operon system. He named the he named the regulation system Operon system. So here Operon is not a name of a scientist. Actually, what is Operon? Operon is a cluster of a gene. Operon is a cluster of a gene. Cluster of a gene that is present over the DNA molecule. So we can also show that what is operon. Operon is a group of genes that is present over a DNA molecule. This one is called operon. And in operon system, what happened? Operon system is consists of a different type of genes. Operon system is consists of a different type of genes. These genes are, first gene is called structural gene, and second one is called promoter gene. Third one is called operator gene. And fourth one is called regulator gene. So these four types of genes are found on the operon system, and they are arranged in a very regular manner. First type of a gene is called structural gene, and second type of gene is called promoter gene, and third type of a gene is called regulator gene, and this one is fourth is called operator gene. So this is, first is structural gene, second one is promoter gene, and third one is regulator gene, and fourth one is operator gene. So to understand the operon system, we will study all about the types of genes that is found over the operon model. First of all, structural gene. These structural genes are actually responsible, they having a special kind of codon for the formation of different kinds of proteins. So structural genes are those type of genes that is actually responsible for the formation of protein, because they having the coded information about that type of a protein. Now second one is promoter gene. Actually this promoter gene is a part of DNA system. Here RNA polymerase combined, so this region is called promoter region. What happened here? The RNA polymerase enzymes combine to transcribe the structural gene. So this one is called promoter region, and third one is regulator gene. This is one of the most important gene of the operon system, because this regulatory gene produce a special kind of repressor protein. So this repressor protein is very important in this operon system. I tell in the later. Now come to the fourth point. This is one operator gene. It is a point of a DNA molecule where the regulator gene makes the repressor protein, and this repressor protein bind to the operator gene. So what is operator gene? It is a point of a DNA where repressor protein bind. So this is all over the operon system, and these type of genes are found in operon. These operon system having these operon system work in a two special kind of a manners. It means that operon system is two type. First is repressor system, and second one is inducible system. So operon system is two type. First is repressor system, and second one is inducible system. First of all, discuss the repressor system. as the term indicate, repress means to compress something. So what happened here, when there is no need of protein in our body, when repressor system, in what happened in repressor system, when there is no need of protein in our body, structural gene cannot be transcribed. So what happened here, some repressor proteins are found and they attach to the operator point and that block to the RNA polymerase to transcribe further into the protein. So this type of a system is called repressor system. An example of a repressor system is tryptophan. And now comes to the inducible system. It is a type of a system when there is a need of a protein in our body, the whole system is switch on. In the previous system, repressor system, the whole system is switch off, and this one is inducible system, the whole system is switch on. So what happened here, actually the environment provided a special kinds of a substance which act as a inducible substance to open the whole system of the genes. So this will be tell in the later lecture. Thank you. This is all over today. Thank you, students.